Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy and really taking care of themselves. To get on with the video, I don't know why I didn't think of doing this video earlier, or if this wasn't like one of my first actual videos that I did. You get your explant, what you need after you get your explant. So this video is dedicated to preparing for your explant surgery. When I say explant, if you guys are new to my channel, I dedicated the start of my channel to breast explant and breast implant illness. And I was just going about my day the other day and I was like, why haven't I made a video about preparing for explant and all the things that you need post-surgery, even pre-surgery? I feel like would have been really helpful to me when I was going through it. All that I had in reference was the Facebook group that I have linked in my previous videos about breast implant illness. I think it's Breast Implant Illness by Nicole. I don't really follow it too much now. I don't know, I feel like I kind of got my breast explanted, and that's, besides these videos, I don't really talk about it that much, so I don't really keep up with that channel. But they were the ones to actually tell me about their experiences, and it's a wonderful resource, so I'll link that down below for anybody who is thinking about getting an explant, because it really helps to have a community around you to be able to support you and help you through your journey, especially if it's new to you. Like, I didn't know what I was doing when I first got my breast explanted, so it's just really nice to have a support group. So without further ado, I have a list on my phone here. This is actually from my blog. I made a blog when I originally explanted, and it was just a way for me to kind of express myself, how I was feeling, but it also gives a list, and I'll actually link that blog down below. I don't keep up with it now, so it's a little outdated, probably like 2.5 years, but there is a whole explanting preparation list. So we're gonna go through it. I'll put it up here on the screen for those of you who are visual learners as I am, and we will get started. So number one is the front open bras. They can be the front clip or the zipper, both are great. When I was scrolling through the Facebook group, they were really recommending this just because, especially if you have drains, or even when you do get an explant, they don't want you to lift your arms above your shoulders. So it was really helpful. Hi, you wanna sit with me? Okay. You wanna sit with me? Come on. Nope, she doesn't. So this was really helpful for me just because I was able to adjust and readjust. I didn't have to worry about having a full like sports bra on where there was no zipper or anything that I could just easily unzip if I was uncomfortable or if I had to access my gauze or my drains. I really recommend a front zip bra. I think that I got mine from Amazon. I will link everything down below that I bought if anybody's interested on buying them. Number two, a neck pillow, and I put absolute lifesaver because this really was an absolute lifesaver. So I don't know what it was about my surgery, but I was so weirded out by the drains that they put like right here and right here. I have pictures, so I'll probably link them above. They were creeping me out so bad, like for me to even put my arms down, so I carried so much tension in my neck. And at night when I was laying down, not fully laying down, but when I was reclined in an upright position, my neck would be on fire. So having the neck pillow, even when you go from the hospital back to your house after explant, is so incredibly helpful. And if you're like me, who traveled from Tampa to Jacksonville, having a pillow to sleep in the car is so convenient. And I would actually wear it backwards. So I know a lot of people wear the neck pillow with the larger portion in your back and then the empty gap space right here, but I flipped it around and I was knocked out. So it's really good if you are traveling to your surgery clinic or even just going home, even if you live like 20 minutes, it's really helpful. But sleeping at night as well, it was a lifesaver for me. Number three, a body pillow or an under leg pillow to support your lower back. I use both. I had previously been sleeping with a body pillow anyways. I feel like it's super comfortable. I still sleep with it now. I didn't buy any type or like special type of pillow. And I just put it under my legs, and it really helped because when I got my breast implants, I wasn't laying all the way back. It was very, very uncomfortable. So I got a wedge pillow, which I'll talk about later, and I sat on a recline with my legs out on the bed, and then I'd put a pillow underneath my legs. And it was just a lot easier to sleep without your legs being flat on the bed, and you wouldn't have any support for your lower back. So I definitely recommend having a support pillow under your legs. It doesn't have to be any special pillow. You can literally just use an extra pillow on your bed, or even a rolled up towel works too. Number 4, hot cold packs or heating pad for your sore back and your shoulders. This was really nice. I had an ice pack. I think I like the heating pack a little bit better. It's been 2 years, so it's really hard to remember. But especially for my shoulders, I know I used a heat pack, and that really helped with the tension. And then I would kind of like self-massage, or I'd have Kevin massage my shoulders. As far as like heat or cold packs on my chest, I didn't really do that. It was more for like the tension that was building in my neck and my upper back too as well. A lanyard. Okay, hear me out. When you get your drains, they are just literally 2 tubes sticking out, and they're connected to, they're just drain bulbs basically. And when I first came home, they gave me a lanyard to hook them onto. When I showered, that's when I would use it the most. I would use my drain bags, which I'll talk about later, during the day, but when I showered and I wanted them like off my body to the point where I could like pull them up so they weren't on me, so I could cleanse myself, that's when I'd use a lanyard. So I definitely recommend, if you have like a leftover lanyard, you can do that. If you have like some ribbon, you could even use. You don't have to go out and buy a lanyard. A lanyard was a really effective way for me to keep my drains from just hanging out of me, which is so gross even now, like thinking about it. But they were still up, supported, and then I could just pull them off my body. Next is a squatty potty. I said constipation is a real thing. So the antibiotics that they give you after your breast explant is awful. It was terrible. So I definitely recommend getting a squatty potty, not just for this, but for literally everyday use. Like, it's in my bathroom now, like we still use it. It's really great. You can look up the research on squatty potties and how like angling your legs up is actually how you're supposed to poop. So I would just recommend a squatty potty for everyday life, to be honest. The next item, number 7, is the scar away sheets. It's used after scars have healed. Yes, do not put these on your scars before they're healed, because it will literally rip off the scar and make you bleed, which you don't want. I use these for a little bit. To be honest, I'm not really too concerned about my scars. They're really small. I didn't have very large breast implants, so when they did take them out, he didn't have to make the scar incision any bigger than it already was. So he just cut away the old scar, kept it the same size, pulled the implant out, and then just restitched it back up. I don't care about my scars. I know some people really do. I like them because it reminds me of the journey that I've been on, as cliche and corny as that sounds, but I don't mind them. I can't see them. I'm always in like some sort of bralette or like a sports bra, so I'm not too concerned. If you are concerned about them though, I think scar away sheets are a really good purchase, just because it helps the healing. I'm not exactly sure how they work. I haven't used them in a long time, but I think it has to do with collagen. So if you're interested in that, I would do your own research if you want to spend the money. I did buy them on Amazon, and I think I got the cesarean section ones, and I just cut them in half. That way I only used one at a time, but the strip was long enough that I could just cut it in half, and then the 2 pieces I could just use to put right there. Number 8 is a small pillow. This was very minimal. It was small, like this couch cushion here. It's a really small, compact pillow, and I basically just used that for when we were driving back to the hotel from the surgery center, and then from the hotel back home, which was like a 3-hour drive. It basically just created a cushion, so I kind of angled it from where my seatbelt was when I was sitting in the passenger seat. And it really just kept the seatbelt from like rubbing up against me. There was a lot of soreness like underneath, but I was still sore kind of everywhere. So having that pillow created a little barrier. What are you doing back there? What are you doing? Where's your toy? Oh, it's a new toy. What is this? Is this a bunny? Okay, sit. Do your trick, pretty. Oh, hold it. Good girl. Number 9, Icy Hot. I did use a lot of Icy Hot. The only place I used it was on my shoulders, like I said, just because I was carrying a lot of tension in my shoulders. Number 10, blanket. I feel like every woman has a blanket or 2, or like me, you have 10 that you cycle through. So I use the blanket just for car rides home, and yeah. The blanket, I guess I just put on there for transportation reasons. 11, I put back scratcher when your caretaker isn't there to do it for you. You could use that. I mean, it is a little uncomfortable, like reach back there and scratch. So, I mean, I think a back scratcher is good any day of the week. So go out and buy yourself a back scratcher to scratch your back. 3 days after surgery. I don't fully remember that, but I guess from what I put, my eyes were really dry after surgery, so maybe just have some like Visine sitting around. I have no idea. The humidifier, I think that this was just more to create a soothing environment, to make it feel more homey or spa-like. I guess that's what I did. I don't remember that either. Number 14, turmeric with curcumin, anti-inflammatory. I am not a doctor. If I could go back and tell myself what I know now after seeing a holistic doctor, I don't think that I should have been taking supplements that weren't prescribed to me. Just because I'm a big advocate for you shouldn't take anything that you don't need. I'm sure it didn't hurt me by any means. It is an anti-inflammatory. But now that I have my naturopathic doctor, I feel like it's better to consult a doctor, and so I will advise you to do the same instead of just going out, first of all, wasting your money on buying random supplements, and yeah, just wasting your money and taking something that could potentially do you harm and not good. So I definitely don't advise just going out and buying a bunch of supplements and then taking them without consulting your doctor, just because you don't know if you already have enough of that supplement in your body. You don't want to take more of it and cause more harm than good, basically is all I'm saying. Number 15, cough drops. Yes, get cough drops. Being intubated is not fun, and it makes your throat very, very sore. I was a previous surgical tech, so I know what it looks like to put a tube down someone's throat in between their vocal cords. So you're gonna want some cough drops, because it's sore. It's sore, it's rough, it's painful. Just get yourself some nice soothing cough drops and it'll all be good. Number 16, antihistamines. Non-drowsy. Yes, I was very, very itchy for the first week. I think it had to do with something during surgery that they give you can make you really itchy, and so I was having that situation or whatever. So yeah, I guess get antihistamines, whether that's like Benadryl or seasonal allergy stuff. Like over-the-counter medication basically is what you could get. Number 17, 500 probiotic. The antibiotics cause constipation. That is true. Also, I'm not a doctor at all. Like, consult your doctor before just going and buying supplements. I am currently on a probiotic, so yeah, I don't see the harm in going out and getting a good probiotic that you could just keep in your like daily routine as it is. But you should always consult your doctor anyways, whatever doctor you're seeing or you're talking to. Number 18, a probiotic drink or a superfood drink aids in digestion. Like I said, you don't necessarily need these things, but you should consult a doctor still. You know what I mean? Like, don't go out and waste your money like I did for 2 solid years buying a shit ton of supplements that I honestly didn't even need. So, number 19, straws. Yes, as you can see, I still drink out of straws now. I was doing it well before my explant, but it makes drinking water or your juice or whatever you're drinking so much easier. You don't have to tilt your glass, lift your arm up. You can just, you know, do a little slurp. And you're good to go. Number 20, saline wound spray to clean around your drains. Yes, 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 yes. So when you get drains, if you get drains, I hope you get drains, because the amount of fluid that came out of my drains concerns me for anybody who doesn't get drains. They're basically sticking out of your body. It's so gross to think about. They're sticking out of your body, and there will be dried blood around them from where they nick you to put the drains in. You have to keep that area clean, because that is just like a freaking transport for any bacteria that could potentially go in there. So what I did was they sent me home with a bunch of wound care stuff, and then eventually that wound care stuff ran out, so we just went to Publix at the time, I think. Yeah, because we lived in Tampa. We just ran to Publix. They have, in the medical section, they have gauze. I think I got like the little 2x4 gauze or the 2x2 gauze. And then they have this stuff, I think it's from Arm & Hammer. And it basically is just saline, which is just salt water, and it's a spray, and it goes out in a stream. So it's gonna clean the area without making it sting or anything. I didn't wanna put like hydrogen peroxide or alcohol on it, because it's an open wound basically. So saline was safe to use. I just sprayed around it, and then I took I took Q-tips, and I would just kind of like clean around there every day, just like take some time and get around there and clean. Then I would take my little 2x4 gauze, and they're just like little solid gauze. I would take scissors and cut down the middle about halfway, and then I would myself, or I'd have Kevin like slide the gauze on it, and the tube would stick out through the slit so it could cover it fully. And then from there I would just put my bra back on. Oh God, the numbers are all messed up. Okay, we'll say this is number 22. Gauze, just like I said, you just place it around the drain. It really keeps it more comfortable, so I would double up on the gauze, set it on there, and it would kind of like lift the drain up and support it, versus like having the drain just hang out of you and just like sag and pull. So that was really helpful. I would sit it up with the gauze, and then I'd put my bra around it to kind of support it. Number 23, I forgot about this too. Oh my gosh, are you okay? I didn't mean to get you with your nose. So number 23 is paper tape to secure the gauze. Shouldn't cause allergy. So the paper tape is a better choice than like steri strips. I had a really bad allergic reaction to steri strips. I'll put the photo up here. It was itchy and hot, and my body was so over it. So it made recovery even worse, just because I had this massive fucking rash, and it was just causing me so much irritation and pain that like I couldn't even sleep. It was so itchy. And then when I did eventually get my drains out and go back to work, it was still there. I think I had this rash for like 3 weeks until it finally calmed down. I had put everything on it, like everything. Yeah, it was an awful rash. So I ended up using paper tape, and that's what I would use to secure the gauze. Number 24 is high fiber foods. I did eat a lot of Fiber One cereal, fruits and veggies. I think it's just kind of safe to say like you should eat a whole like wholesome diet or whole foods diet every day of your life anyways, but this definitely helped with the constipation that I had after surgery. And it was just really nice to eat healthy, especially since I wasn't moving as much. I'm a very active person. I really like to work out, so I couldn't work out, so it was still nice to like at least feed my body wholesome foods that I knew that was helping me more than hurting me. So I would definitely recommend high fiber foods for the poops and just for your everyday regular nutrition. Number 25, I said ask doctor to use tape and cleanser for sensitive skin. When I was on the Facebook group, I noticed that a lot of people were having the same reaction to these steri strips that I was. I originally thought it was the iodine that they use to clean around the wound, but it was definitely the steri strips. The pattern matched how people would put steri strips. So that's something that you can ask. Like, you don't need steri strips. You can use there's other forms of bandages or different types of coverage that you can use for your wounds as they're healing. But I had an unknown allergy to the tape and it was contact dermatitis, which was a really bad rash. And then I also noted to pick up all prescriptions before your surgery date. I added some extra things at the bottom. I put a wedge pillow. I would definitely get a wedge pillow. I think it's a really good investment, especially since laying on your back is really difficult, because if you lay on your back, first of all, it's very impossible to sit up on your own. So like in the middle of the night, if I had to go pee and I didn't want to wake Kevin up, I was already sitting up. So I could just like kind of sit forward a little bit and then turn and then get out of the bed and then go to the bathroom. If you lay on your back, you need somebody to help you lift up. It's this whole thing. I didn't want to do it. And honestly, having the wedge pillow was just really comfortable post-surgery anyways. I didn't want like a lot of things pooling. I wanted gravity to kind of like let things flow. So sitting up was the way that I slept. And that really just kind of supported me through the first couple weeks of recovery. Front open pajamas, I do recommend 2 sets. I lived in 2 sets of pajamas for the first week and a half. The best purchase that I ever bought. They were just like kind of baggy pants that were really flowy. And then I got a top. It was a short sleeve, and then it basically had buttons all the way down. And so I could just button them up, cover myself up if I wanted to. The drain belts. I talked about the drain belt in my first video. It was probably like my #1, if not top necessity. It was just a belt that I bought off of Amazon, and it was just like an elastic belt that was adjustable, and it had like a little clip, I don't know, like the clips that you use for your helmets. And there was drain bags. It was just like 2 pink little bags, and it had like a little pocket in each one. I wore that thing every single day while I had my drains. It kept it off my shoulders. I didn't have to wear a stupid lanyard. They would just, because the drains are long enough to where they can like sit probably like down mid-thigh, just like sit them in your pockets. Or just sitting at my sides, and I wore a really flowy dress, and nobody knew that I even had them in, so. And then arnica, it just helps with bruising. It's like a natural supplement. You can take it if you want. I don't think it's gonna hurt you if you do, but still do your own research and consult a doctor if that's something that you want to do. That is pretty much it for my list. Honestly, it's so funny finding that vlog. I never thought that I'd like look through it again, but I was just laying in bed the other night and I was like, I never made a video about freaking all the things that you need post-surgery, or like all the things that you should know post-surgery. So I'm really glad to make this video. I hope it helps somebody. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can just leave them in the comments down below. And that's pretty much it for this video. But I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.